All right. So can you all see this gentleman can you see my screen in actual video? Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Can you see my screen? Can you see give me a heart or something, a thumbs up if you can actually see the picture on the screen of a gentleman in front of like an engine. Can you guys see that? Anybody? Give me a thumbs up so I know. Perfect, perfect. So we're gonna watch a quick minute, like about 7 minutes. I want you guys to start here. Oh, wait, because I want to make sure you have sound. All right, here we go. All right.
Many years ago, stores all over the U.S. were closed by 11 p.m. Consumers would have to carefully plan, as these stores wouldn't reopen until 7 a.m. Over time, companies began to see the benefit for them and their customers of staying open later. Soon after, the concept of stores staying open 24 hours was born. Today, we couldn't imagine not being able to purchase the items we want around the clock. We have grown to appreciate and expect the open 24-hour model. In the business world, companies can employ a wide array of options as it relates to the hours of operation. Some are 9 to 5, others 7 to 7. And it doesn't matter what time your office shuts down, one thing should remain open 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. You guessed it, your mind. When was the last time you assessed your open-mindedness? How do you create an environment conducive to the free flow of ideas? In this lesson, you will uncover the keys and advantages to maintaining an open mind in the workplace. American musician Al McLean once said, "Be very patient and very open-minded, and listen to what people have to say. With this in mind, consider the open technique as a 4-step process for cultivating your open mind." The O reminds us to be open. Open to opposition. Can your ideas be challenged? Are you ever wrong about anything? Do you welcome the opposing view to your ideas? If yes, then you've taken a pivotal step towards having an open mind. Remember these keys to welcoming opposition. Ask for it. Encourage your team to shoot holes in your new ideas and strategies. You already know what's right with the plan. You need them to show you what's wrong. Then acknowledge it. When your team keeps you from making a mega mistake, be sure to recognize them for it. Offer them incentives for coming up with a better plan and give them credit for helping you succeed. Afterwards, accept it. Let's be honest, it's hard to watch our carefully conceived strategies go up in smoke. But if they are justifiable reasons to move in a different direction, we must watch it. We must accept it. The P in our open formula reminds us of the importance of partnerships. Strategic alliances, leverage relationships, and cooperative agreements have been a part of successful enterprises since business began. Therefore, no matter how married you are to owning it all, doing it all, or having it all yourself, there has to be room for relationships that make sense. Partnerships must be pursued, positioned, and practical. In the early 1900s, Henry Ford and Harvey Firestone formed a powerful partnership. One made cars and the other made tires. They learned from each other, and each was critical to the other's success. In similar fashion, you must find a partner that complements you and your goals. The E in our open acronym stands for elimination. Just as new partnerships should always be expanded, there must be a constant commitment to removing dead weight, outdated policies and procedures, outdated products and practices, and yes, even personnel that no longer fits. Must be eliminated in order for business leaders to thrive. Ultimately, the success of an organization is contingent on openness in this area. Consider the following to assist you in this area. Examination. This is the process of looking within. Regularly review the elements of your business model. No fewer than 4 times per year. Dedicate an entire day to inspecting the effectiveness of each department in your organization. It's similar to pruning a tree by cutting back what you don't need to grow a healthier business operation. Next is exploration. This process of looking and searching out. There are always better processes, plans, products, and personnel. Routinely searching for viable replacements keeps your company prepared and productive. Once you've become open to opposition, progress, and elimination, the final step is an openness to networking. You and your team are the best commercials your company ever created. Therefore, the only ways to see and hear these wonderful commercials is to come in contact with you and your team. This means a commitment or openness to attending events, mixers, functions, conferences. They allow your story to be heard and your company to gain exposure. Assign your team members to attend as many events as possible. Then follow up faithfully. Be open to maximizing the relationships you build in the networking phase by diligent follow-up. Thank the new people you meet for their time. Send them additional information about your company and make networking an all-time activity, not just restricted to special events. Just like the convenience stores on the corner, your mind can be open 24 hours. Open to opposition, partnerships, elimination, and networking. Having the always open approach in these critical areas is better for you and your organization. Your assignment for this lesson is to evaluate your partnerships and seek to expand them. Make a commitment to seek out the best ideas, partners, and processes available.
All right. So listen, this whole session today, and I told you all, y'all see, I got a new something else going on here, new something going on. But this is what I want to tell you. I want you all today to remember this. If you don't remember anything, networking and collaboration, networking and collaboration, networking and collaboration elevate you, period. Networking and collaboration elevates you. If you can't grow by yourself, you can't grow by yourself. I already told you that your gifts, talents, and abilities are for service, and that your service provides for you. You cannot, if you want to grow, whether it be in your position, in your life, in your relationships, you can't do it by yourself. You have to collaborate with somebody. You have to network with somebody. If any of you have ever heard that who you know is more valuable than what you know? Who you know is more valuable than what you know. Well, I'm gonna add another one to it. And if you guys have heard this, raise your hand, put your little emoji up. But your EQ, your emotional intelligence, is more important than your IQ, your intellect. All right, here I'm gonna, I gotta stand up. You all know I've got to stand up. So I told you yesterday about you gotta always be ready for the fight. You gotta be ready for the fight. Well, you're being ready for the fight also includes body language. Body language. Okay, so I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna always show you I'm gonna tell you the why, I'm gonna tell you the what, and I'm gonna show you the how. I'm gonna always show you the how. Y'all got my readers on today, my bug eye glasses. So if you can't see my eyes, no, it's just, I'm sorry, I gotta put them on. All right, so here's the deal. The what is your body language matters. If you, thank you, if you telling someone, if you are open, I don't care what the situation is, professionally or personally, if you're open, if you want them to know that you're open, I want you to open your arms up. Always open your arms. And I do understand sometimes when you're cold or you're thinking, because sometimes when I'm thinking, I find myself like, But when I want somebody to know that I'm not being closed, because your arms closed signifies you being closed to information, closed to receiving, then I will, if I'm here and I realize, oh shoot, my arms are crossed. So I will intently look at them and nod, occasionally like, yeah, yes. Now, we as a people, we know how to give you the business. We know how to say, yes, give it to me. Yes, to engage, to let the folks know that we're there for them. But when your face is deadpan, the person doesn't know how to receive you. So from that on, I want you to remember, look, be engaging. Now, you don't have to over nod, but lean head and look at the person when they're talking. And when you see your colleague is presenting to sometimes people that may or may not look like you, or your colleagues are presenting to a group and they may feel a little bit afraid. They may not be doing too well. I need you to encourage them. As a matter of fact, if you are the leader in the room and this person is presenting for the first time, then you as the leader this is you. This is what you're going to do. Before this, then let's pretend this chair is Stephanie, the new person. She's presenting for the first time. I'm the leader. Everyone, say everyone, let's first give Stephanie a hand. This is her first presentation. We want her to know that she is among friends, that we support Stephanie and everything. So Stephanie don't need to be nervous, because there is no wrong way to do it, because we're all going to pretend this is our first time, and we're going to give her the support that we want to receive. If you receive that, give me a hand, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart. If you understand what I mean by that, tell me, let me know you with me. Let me know you with me. Yes, come on through. Yeah, Tantu, Romaine. Yes, listen, Cephas, this is important. You all, I'm telling you these things because in leadership, thank you, Joel. Thank you, Fester. Thank you, Jay Leroy. In leadership, all the small little things that you guys already learned in your management courses. Now we could have a whole section, and as a matter of fact, if there's something that I'm not covering, I want you all to put it in the chat. I'm looking here because I got my other screen up. I want you to put, if there's a specific subject today, if there's a specific topic within leadership that I had not covered, but you're like, please, I hope she covers it. Please put it in the chat, and I'm going to do everything I can to cover it today. I'm covering topics that I know if you hit these things, you can go implement them today. You can implement them right now, and it will change the trajectory of your life. Now, if there's a topic and we haven't covered it, okay. Yes. Tantu said, I agree with you, because that alone can make the person feel free to make mistakes and learn. Yes, because hear this, when you remove the barrier of thinking that you cannot make a mistake, people grow, they become more creative. Who wants to run around being so afraid to do anything because you're afraid you're going to fail? Listen, you all have heard it 1,000 times, but let me give it to you one more time. There is absolutely no way to be an extremely successful person without failing a lot. If you think I'm making it up, look at all of the people who've ever been successful and in their area of expertise. If you know who Michael Jordan is, give me a thumbs up or something. Michael Jordan, the basketball player. Michael Jordan, the basketball player, was the GOAT, they call him, right? Well, Jordan, the basketball player, he was cut from his high school team. He was cut from basketball. They didn't think he was good enough. And to be being true, maybe he didn't think he was good enough, but yet he was the greatest of all time. Steve Jobs, the guru of all gurus, and when it comes to computers and systems, Steve Jobs was fired. Steve Jobs does not have a degree. Let's just go on. The list goes on and on. Google the people or research the people that you think are the most influential. Oprah Winfrey, my girl, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey was right here in Maryland. She worked for WBAL, a television station. We used to watch her on television. They let her go because they said she didn't have the appropriate look. So what did Oprah do? Oprah went somewhere else for a little minute, and then she created her own show, and now she is what? Mega. Tyler Perry was homeless. homeless, couldn't buy a veil, created his own, had little plays. He used to go around. I used to go see his plays. Now he's like, wow, he's created his own studio, his own, and uplifted a whole impoverished community in the city of Atlanta. And the list goes on and on and on. But Les Brown, Steve Harvey, all of them were homeless, struggling, failing over and over and over again. But they're some of the most successful people of color that you and I know. And we can just go on and on. Oh my God, Mandela, for crying out loud, they sent him to prison on some bogus stuff. And man, he was the president of a country. Let's talk about it. Failure it's just a minor setback. It's a bump in the road. But the one thing that we do know for sure is that you cannot get to success without first going through failure. So hurry up and fail as much as possible so that you can, or the perceived failure, so that you can get to your success. All right, y'all. Y'all still with me? Y'all still with me? All right. So I do want to share my screen because I want to show, and I'm going to put some, as I'm looking at showing you some things, I'm going to put some things in the chat because I want you, in fact, let me do that but I want anyone to come on right now. I want each one of you to tell me of a time that you thought, you can call it failed, that you had a setback and how you overcame it. I want you to tell me of a time, because I want every person on here to know, to not just see you in your season of success, but I want them to know that they're not the only ones that might have failed at something, and they might be struggling with the thing you failed at or you struggled with, but they don't know how to overcome it. So I want each one of you, if you don't mind, anyone that does not feel, that feels comfortable enough to please come on and tell us of a time. Just give us about 2 or 3 minutes. Tell us of a time when you had a setback and how you overcame it. Anybody willing to come forward? Nobody? Oh, wow. I just knew I could count on someone to come forward. All right, Tantu, give it to us, please. Tell us about the time that you had a setback. All right, thank you, Tantu. Tantu, I was like, come on, y'all. Okay.
Okay. But the first time I had a setback, it was, I'm dealing with choir, so I always talk about my choir most times. And it was the first time I went to church and I was appointed to be the choir director. I was like, wow, this is a new group. How am I going to manage with this new group? And there were so many people who were like older than me there. So I was like a little bit afraid because of the age gap. But actually, I knew what I need to do first in the previous choir. So because of that confidence that I know what I can do as a former choir director, so I know I could do the same thing with this new group. So despite the level of age difference I met, and the little fear that I had in me, I thought to myself that I can still overcome this and work with this group and make it a better group. So that's what I went through before.
That is huge. Let me tell you something. It's nothing like, and to answer you, that was like a good one. There's nothing like when you are a new leader and those different generations are in there. We're going to talk about that and remind me if I don't get back to it, because you know how we can get off topic. But Tanti, remind me if we don't, remind me, just say, hey, don't forget about the generations, because that is huge. There's some people, the first thing I'm saying, we've always done it this way, or who he's too young to have enough wisdom to talk to me. So let's talk about that in just a moment. Romaine, what you got? Thank you, Tantu. You're on mute. You're on mute, Romaine. Romaine, you see it? You're on mute. Yep.
Hello to everyone. Hello to Dr. Stephanie. Hello, somebody can we open my line?
Yep, you're open. We can hear you. We can hear you now.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Yes, I said, okay, hello to everyone in the group, and thanks for this session that I'm a part of. Yeah, I had a major setback in my life back then, few years after high school, where I was was faced with drug addiction. Yes, I went after high school, enrolled at the university, and I was reading education. And later on, I got faced with drug abuse, which I was into it for more than 5 to 6 years. And later on, after I recover, now a psychosocial counselor assistant at a rehabilitation center currently in my country where I reside, called the Destiny Recovery Program, a rehabilitation center where I serve as psychosocial counselor assistant.
Yes. Let me
Yeah.
tell you something. That's huge. Thank you, Romaine. You know, when I was oh my gosh, well, I was a young mother, and I was in when I first started my schooling right after school, high school. I was in, and I was having a time with this math. You understand? And my ego didn't want me to get any help. I needed help. I was failing, and then I remember there was I finally somebody said you need to go see a counselor, right? One of the counselors in the school, and I went. I need some help, and because I was failing, and that and it cost to go to school, and so I saw this guy, and the counselor, he was like, I told him, I can't, I'm having difficulty with this math. And he said, you don't have, I said, I cannot do it. He said, yes, you can. First of all, you can't do it because you keep saying you can't do it. As long as you say you can't do it, you won't be able to do it. But more importantly, he said, I bet you nobody messes with your money. He said, you got to think of everything in math like money. And he helped me through it. But I'm going to tell you, that was like a setback for me because everybody else was moving forward, but I could not move forward in those particular studies until I got this. And then later on, when I wanted to get some additional education, I couldn't graduate without taking a statistics class. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're back at this math again. So I'm telling you, each time, especially when we're in school, right, and we get, any kind of setback, and of course, then I got sick. And I was down, and everybody else went ahead of me. And I was like, well, you know what? I don't want to do it now because I missed, everybody's gone. I feel like I'm too old. I got this going on. And I'm telling you, Romaine, you just, because despite your setback, you went back and did it anyway. You just kept on choking that, because you could have quit. You could have said, well, you know what? I'm not going to do it. But you didn't quit, right? So you're overcoming with your tenacity. Your tenacity. So what the name of the game is, no matter what happens to you or what the circumstances, you got to decide that you're going to find a way. Sometimes it takes additional resources, additional organizations, but don't let anything stop you from moving forward. Nothing, right? Is that pretty much on point, Romaine? Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, on point for me, actually. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Anybody else thank you so much. Anybody else willing to come forward? Now I put some resources, including the one PowerPoint that we're going to be talking about in a few minutes. I put all of those things, I put all the links in. So you guys, please download those links so that you have them. I wanted to make sure I gave them to you just right away. The one thing that we talked about yesterday, I gave you a graphic with the rely. I gave that to you, but I'm going to share my screen again in a few moments because I want to show, I got to exit this one here. Uh-oh. Let me exit the full screen, and then I'm going to be pulling up my screen again. All right. Just a moment, you guys know. I'm in a different format, so I have to remind myself how this one works. Well, oh, here we go. Okay. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share my screen. You guys still here with me? Yes? Okay. All right. Can you see this screen? Where it's like a slideshow? Yep. Okay. All right. So this, everything I teach, no matter what, I teach organizations I teach individual, I coach individuals, and I coach organizations actually in how they show up. And individuals, I say whether you're an individual or organization, it's about customer service, how you show up. So I want to know, one, from all of you at some point, put in the chat, when you show up at work, I'm going to tell you, when I show up at my workspaces, I always show up as the same person. And what do I mean by showing up as the same person? I don't come, if I don't feel good that day, like I'm not really feeling my best, I'm not really feeling this job, I'm not really feeling like the energy is so, you're going to think it's silly, but it works. If I'm not feeling good that day, and I feel like I'm zapped of energy, then that day I'm putting extra effort into making myself, I put on a brighter color. I put some extra effort into making myself look presentable, because when you look good, you feel good. How many of you agree when you get a fresh haircut, or you got on something new, a new shirt, a new pair of shoes, or new something, or something different, when you feel good, when you look good, you feel good. And you show up that way. So I am, as a leader, I am always aware that I am not going to ask my employees or the people that serve with me to show up in any way that I'm not willing to do myself. So we've talked about this, and I'm going to keep hammering it, because what? Teaching is repeating until learning takes place. And I'm going to tell you that every leader, every person, and quite frankly, everybody's a leader, but every person that strives to encourage and build up and empower other people must show up in excellence. Must show up in excellence. I don't care if you have one great shirt, one great pair of pants, one great tie, then that one thing that you have, you always have it looking in its best condition, and you show up in excellence. When folks see you walk into a room, and leadership is not just about a title, it's not about just about what you do, it's about how you show up. Now I'm going to move back. I think you guys can see me when I'm walking. So just imagine when you're walking into the room. Leaders don't walk into the room. I'm going to get some help. We don't walk in the room all like we scared. No. Leaders walk with purpose. Leaders I want you to quicken your pace just a little bit. Just quickly come into the room and you pivot. You greet. You own every space that you're in. Leaders must own the space that they're in. Leaders are continually teaching, learning, and growing. How many of you, and I need you to write in here, how many, and put your number in, be honest, it's okay, there's no wrong answer, there's just your answer. How many of you, how many books have you, and I mean, I'm serious, now you can have an audio book, you could have read a physical book, but I want to know, in the chat, each and every one of you, how many books, and be honest, please be honest with yourself, because lying to me or anybody else will not change your situation. How many books have you read in the last year? How many books have you read in the last year? Put that in the chat. Before we move any further, I must know that answer. Put it in the chat. How many books have you read in the last year? Everybody, put it in your chat. Put it in the chat. I'm going to pull the chat up so I can see it fully. I don't see any answers coming in. And and if you don't know exactly how many, okay, good. Thank you, Tantu. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your honesty. How many books? So Tantu said he's read 3 books. 3 books. I'm waiting. There are several of you in here. Estelle, let's see. Estelle says she read. Thank you, Estelle. She's read 2 books. All right. Who else we have? Honesty is the best policy. Let me see. Let me put it up. Let me see. Here we go. Okay, Emmanuel said he can't tell just yet. Okay, Emmanuel, give me your best we call it the guesstimation. What is your best guesstimation? What is your best guesstimation of the amount of books that you have read? Your best guesstimation. I want you to just put it in there. Okay, all right. Jay Leroy said just two. Hey, let me tell you right now, I'm Jay Leroy, and everybody, there are some people that their answer will be 0, and it's okay. They just haven't for many reasons. Emmanuel says about 4. Some people haven't read books because, one, they don't like reading. Some people haven't read books because they may not have access to any books, so they just listen. They don't do books. Some people just like, okay, truth be told, I just haven't read a book. I just had a chance to read a book. Okay, Romaine says about 3. Okay, we cooking with Grace. All right, Cephas, I don't see you. You with me, Cephas? All right, you all. This is the thing. Now I'm going to tell you. Now I will tell you that leaders, they are, by definition, they are like sponges. They're always teaching. You should always be teaching. I'm a speaker, so I say somebody's always going to get a speech. I'm an educator, so somebody's always going to get educated. There was a lady that did my hair today. Y'all see I got my hair done today. I sat in a chair and she went on to tell me, I asked her, do you have a website? And I said, I know how I got to you because my sister gave me your name and number. Do you have a web page? And she's telling me about all the businesses she has. So I'm telling her, well, where can I find that information? And then I'm telling her how she can do what she needs to do. She can have platforms and do things for free, and how or with less cost. I started giving her a lesson, and we started talking, and she let me know she was an introvert, and I was like, I'm an extrovert, except for I'm an ambivert, because sometimes I lay to rest, and I explained to her what the ambivert is. And just in case you all don't know, there's extrovert people that are very expressive, and an introvert people that are really expressive, but they're expressive inward. And then there's an ambivert, which is the person right in the middle. I'm very much an extrovert. However, when I shut down, when I finished being my most extroverted self, like when I finish teaching you all, I'm drained and I go sit down somewhere, and I like to be in quiet, and I love to read. My goal every year is to read 100 books. Now, that's the goal. Sometimes it is 24. What does that mean? 2 a month. I've been doing even more than that, because what I've learned to do, and which I encourage you all to do as well, is to read books. Use audio books, YouTube, find free options. And I've given you all so many options already, so you should be all over. Let me see. We have some more people that came in. Emma Jane says I've read more books, but can't remember the total amount. Okay. And Ahmed says, I have read 3, but 2 are biology and 1 is molecular biology. Well, you better go ahead on, Ahmed. Ahmed, that's fabulous. Listen, and I will show you all, because I'm very transparent. I'm very transparent. And Fester 1, thank you, Fester. Thank you. I'm very transparent. And before I move on here to this thing, in fact, let me see here. It will allow me to advance my slides. Okay. One of the things that every one of my clients is that we talk about reading. Now, I'm getting up. I'm getting up a lot. I like to move around. There are let me see. I think I moved it. Oh. Here we go. I'll put some books here. I was like, I'm going to take some books out. All right, there are 3, 4. All right. These three books and 2 others that I don't have in my hand are books that I am co-author in. These are my 2 books, right? My 2 books. And one of the people you're going to be hearing from, who's also an amazing speaker and author, is Belton Showell. You all will be hearing from him. I have his leadership dynamic book. Okay, I'm co-author, but I'm going to tell you that I love reading. I love reading, and I'm always reading. Now, this book is out right now because I'm reading it, Belton's. And I'm going to tell you that whenever you need to learn something about if you're growing a company, a business, or leadership, you should be reading a book. So I'm trying to learn a new system for my business. And somebody referenced this book. So I immediately went on Amazon and got the book. Now, you know, you got this here because these are my notes I'm writing to myself. But this book is I was like, oh my gosh, look at this. This is can you get any simpler than this? I don't think you can, with pictures and everything. Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? Get you some books, because listen, here's the deal. Note takers are money makers. Write that down. Note takers are money makers. Note takers are money makers. Readers are learners. Readers elevate. Reason, because look, Les Brown says, we used to say junk in, junk out. That's not true. Junk in, junk stay. Junk in, junk stays. So if you want to grow, when we talk, we are only regurgitating, if you will. We're only giving back what has been put in. If you want to be considered an expert in your field and whatever it is, once you go to school, you're going to retain some of that information. Whatever you learn, you're going to retain that information. Whatever you practice, you will retain that information. But things change and we grow. In order to stay on top of that, you've got to keep putting information in. Are you guys with me? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you're still with me.
Yeah, you're mute. Don't talk. I'm not hearing you. You're mute.
Oh, thank you. You know, I'm just yapping and running my mouth on mute. You know what? I have a cup, and it's not in here, but I have a cup that I use for my show, and it actually is a big, huge teacup, and it says you're on mute. And why do I have it? Because my co-host has always tell me I'm on mute. So thank you, Tantu. You might be my new co-host because you keep me on task. See that? And you must be brave. See, you're muted. Thank you, Tantu. Emmanuel, you said no volume. Estelle said, I'm not getting you. Festa said, I am. Oh, thank you, Festa. Festa, you said thank you guys. I appreciate all. Oh, and I love Joel, and you have one that you're reading in economics. Huge, huge. Okay. So thank you. Let me go back here because I didn't went. Let me see, y'all. The screen is a little bit. All right. So we must believe in making a difference. I said on this screen that every company should have a slogan that's similar to this. If you had that, you know, we tell you that when you deal with people, pretend that everybody has a sign around their neck that says, make me feel important. Let's pretend that your company has a slogan, or your group, or your leader, or you tell your people every day, we believe in making a difference. And I want your people to have that same mentality. I'm leaning because I can't see the little thingy here. When in your organizations, this should be your focus. Your focus should be on efficiency and on quality. Efficiency and quality. The cost of things should be to keep costs down and keep efficiency up and the quality of service up. If you keep your costs down and the efficiency of your service and the quality, you will not lose company. Think about how many times have you ever, there was it was a company called Marie Callender. Marie Callender made these pot pies. And I remember, like, you know, little pot pies look like this little breaded little shell. They put like little chicken and like a stew and some vegetables in it and put a little top on it, made like a little pie, it's a little hot pie. They call it a pot pie. Well, this company called Marie Callender, they made these pies. So you could throw them in the oven real quick and you have an instant little meal. Well, or you can microwave them real quick. And when they first came out, man, my family adored them. We used to be like, okay, that's a quick meal, because I worked long shifts and I could get some Marie calendars and I could be ensure they get some chicken and some vegetables. And it wouldn't take me a long time and they could get this nice little thing. It was perfect, except for when they first started out, the cost was reasonable. The quality was through the roof. Big chunks of chicken, very filled. It was very efficient. Well, they're still plentiful. You can find Marie calendars. They're still very plentiful. So they're very efficient. They're very effective. They do the job. I can still feed my family quickly. However, the cost went up and the quality went down. The cost went up and the quality went down. Oftentimes companies do that. You're like, even with those bags of food, bags of chips, if they first come out, you get, oh God, the bag is filled. You can see, but then the bag will change and it'll be full of air. And you'll have like about this much chips or crackers or whatever in the thing. The quality goes down, but the cost goes up. Nonetheless, we stopped buying them. We went on to something else. And this is what happens when new startup companies start up, or new employees start. When they first start, they are great. They're very efficient. The quality of work is great. They keep your cost of, they come to work, so the cost of paying them is cheap, is reasonable. But when employees call out sick, the cost goes up because you still have to pay them. But then you're not getting the work. The quality of service is not there because they're not work. They're not efficient because they're not there. You guys follow me? You picking up what I'm putting down? Give me a thumbs up if you're still with me. All right, thank you. All right. So now, and I want you all just think about it now. So I call it the customer service experience. I am a lot of things, and many people that I serve with, they are amazing customer service people. I have learned from some of the best. Now here in my part of town, there is a place called Chick-fil-A. Now Chick-fil-A, everybody has pretty much, not everybody, but many people have stolen their customer service it's a procedure, their policy, the way they do customer service. Nobody was doing it the way they were doing it. All of a sudden, this fast food chain is like the #1 in customer service and #1 everywhere. And that is this. You go to Chick-fil-A, and first of all, they're closed on Sundays. They let you know that they put God first, family second, career third. And that right there put them ahead of most. But this is the thing, when you go to Chick-fil-A, they say, how may I help you? And they give you this whole spiel about welcome to Chick-fil-A. It's my pleasure to serve you, blah, blah. I mean, it's like a whole, you just can't stop smiling like, okay. You're like, okay, Chick-fil-A, how you know me? Chick-fil-A gives you they just wrap their arms around you. And just when they finish with you, thank you for your service. Please come again. We welcome you. It's like this whole spiel. Now, I know I'm not saying it word for word, but I'm going to tell you, Chick-fil-A service is outstanding. I don't care what business media model I'll talk to. And everybody says, well, Chick-fil-A is the best. If I say who's the best one in the United States, everybody will go Chick-fil-A. And it's because of what they say. It's because of the energy they bring. So what would happen if you taught your clients, your staff, the Chick-fil-A model? Now, when I say Chick-fil-A model, I'm not saying say what they say, but I'm going to, well, I don't have my phone, so I'm going to imitate this. Look, today, this bottle of water is my phone. But this is what I'm going to do. This is the phone. The phone rings. I'm your person that answers the phone. And let's say this, I'm going to say, good morning. This is XYZ company. This is Stephanie speaking. How may we serve you? Boom, right there. And teach them how to say their name of your company. How may we serve you? Hello? Hi. Who am I hearing? Francis? Francis? Francis.
Can someone please mute Francis for us? Okay, mute Francis for us, please.
We got him. I think I muted Francis. Well, somebody muted it. Okay, got it. I was like, I'm hearing somebody having a whole shitty chat, but that's all right. This happens. So this is what I want you to remember. Teach your staff how to be the best version of themselves. And listen, and make it so that no matter who answers the phone, it's always welcome to, how may we serve you? But that is that, but not only that, not only just to say it. I want them to know that that is expected. I want them to know that the script is the same no matter who answers the phone, and that the service that you provide matches the words that you provide. Emma Jane and Estelle, do you have a question? Or are you giving me a yes? No. Just a high five? Tattoo? Was that a high five, or was that I got a question?
It's a question. It's a concern, right?
Yep, you got a question?
No, it's just a concern. It's a little, I don't know how to yeah, it's a concern like that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
And you said, so now let me ask you this. Have you ever experienced bad customer service?
Yeah. I want to say what you are saying, something about a company should always make all their client, their staff to have the same customer service practice. I know of a bank in my area. There's a certain staff, if you don't go to work, you don't experience a very good customer service for that particular day. But if she's around, and whatever customer goes around, they feel like, she treats them like the person is their favorite customer. That's what I want to say.
Wow. So wait a minute. Let me tell you, this is the thing. When you have so that one, if a person treats you like very well, and your company is known for that person treating you very well, you build more clients. But if you have someone on the same note, somebody that treats you awful, they're not a great person, companies have to be brave enough. And this is the thing. Your company, you should be committed to a wow customer experience. You have to be brave enough. I mean, absolutely brave enough to remove that person from being forward facing. And now I'm not saying go fire that person. I'm saying they may require retraining, because sometimes we have either a practice or a policy issue. A practice or a policy issue. The practice may be that we are putting people in positions that they're not even prepared for, or we haven't trained them. As a commander one of the things is that, and even when I was a sergeant, this is when I first learned it actually. I was complaining to my lieutenant at the time about somebody, a subordinate, how they just couldn't get it. They just can't get it. They're not getting it, blah, 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 blah. I'm complaining. And then my boss said to me, and I quote, and I want you to remember this, when one of your people that you serve who reports to you is complaining about one of their subordinates, because the buck stops with the person that's the supervisor. He said to me, and it was he said, okay. He was okay. And at that time I was a sergeant. He was okay, Sergeant Wall. He said, got it. I hear you. So what I'm hearing you say, always repeat back what you heard the person say. And this is for anything, professional or personal. Repeat back for clarity. What I'm hearing you say is that XY person is having difficulty. They're writing terrible reports. They're doing this, they're doing that, and they're just not getting it. And you think it's maybe time that you either release this person or move this person on, or they might not be fit for that. And I was like, yes. And he said, got it. He said, okay, before we do that, he said, I just need you to so just let me know, give me some feedback. Tell me what you have done to help this person exceed? Or what have you done to help this person grow or learn or do better in that area? What have you done thus far to help them to do better? Now, I was a rookie sergeant. I had no idea. And I was like, well, I mean, I told him you got to do better at this thing. I told him, this is not appropriate. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking he learned just like everybody else learned through the academy. This is the proper way to write reports. He learned like everybody else, but here's the deal. The reality is we all learn differently. We also make mistakes. We may forget. We may actually have learned it, but they may not have actually retained it because the skill set may not have come naturally to them. So when he said that, I was like, ding, 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 ding. Light bulbs went off like, oh, come on, Stephanie, you went in here complaining on the poor gentleman. What have you done besides tell him get it together or tell him to work with somebody else or right? What have you done specifically? Because see, on one hand, I was thinking I didn't want to get too deep in there. I didn't want to feel some kind of way. Then I was like, but that's not leadership. That's not leadership. See, I forgot. So I went back and was like, okay, cool beans. What worked for me? Well, I remember with certain things like DUIs wasn't my little thing, but the guy Mark that I told you about the other day, he was great at it. He gave me all kinds of little cheat sheets. So I was like, let me create cheat sheets for this person to use. If I want him to do it a certain way, how about I create what it is and give it to him and see what he did? Bam! I did that and voila. 100% turnaround. So I created I gave him the tools and the strategies to have a wow customer to provide a wow customer service experience. I then showed him, it was another person who was always getting in trouble when they engaged with people. They didn't know how to apply to talk to other to the customer, which is the people that call for service. And so I went on a call and I listened and then I modeled. So you have to model. You have to model what you want people to do. All right, so leadership. We want to stay on task. We don't stay on task here. Leadership. Create, drive change, communicate, and motivate. Just that simple. And you guys, you have all of this. I gave you all the slides. Leadership is you have to create. You drive the change. You are driving the bus. You want them to go in a certain direction. You got to drive. You can't just say, all right, somebody get up there and drive us. And you don't give them no map, no Google something. You don't tell them where to go. You just say, get on the bus and drive. They may not know how to drive. So you got to drive the change. You have to communicate. You got to provide the things. As a leader, it's simple. Besides the things that are basic common knowledge, leadership 101 is leadership 101 is this. And look, 101, 201, 301, it's the same. The only thing that's advancement is that you do more implementation. First, you got to understand the fundamentals, which we already covered. And it doesn't matter who you are, it's the same. You have to create the environment for the safe environment. You drive the change by modeling. You must communicate the vision, whether it's coming from the top or if it's coming from yourself. You've got to make sure, check to check for clarity. And you must motivate. And you have to teach them to be self-motivated. What does that mean? When you create an environment where, just like a parent, when you congratulate, you uplift, you empower your people, they want more of it. They want more. And so they're motivated to do the things that are required to get more of that thing. All right. I've already told you guys, we talked about this at length yesterday, but again, I got to say it, teaching is repeating until learning occurs. Believing and treating all your employees like family. You guys think of ways. I want you to, if you don't do anything else, I want you to think of ways that as a leader, how can you make your group of people as you are, how can you make it feel like a family? I mean, like really a family where they come into you with issues, problems, and solutions. Issues, problems, and solutions. Remember this, teach your people. I need you to teach them to not come to you with just problems, but to come to you with a problem and a possible solution. And this is how you do it. I don't know, I'm going to use the name, I'm just going to use the name is Kendra. Kendra comes to you and says, hey, hey, Jay Leroy, I have this particular problem, you know, so-and-so, it seems that the group of folks that I work with, they're not gelling. They're not gelling. We spend most of the day arguing and bickering. We don't get any work done. We're behind on all of our projects. I don't know what to do about this. But I was thinking that maybe if we could have maybe an hour once a week or once a month, if we could have some type of team building activity where we can do a reset and get to know each other. I don't know how that would look, but if we could do something like that, I was thinking maybe something like that. So they came to you with a problem and a possible solution. Open the door up and allow people to have opportunities to provide a solution to all the problems that they foresee or they see. Trustworthy, knowledgeable customer service. You all, I promise you, as was already shared, if you do not have great customer service, you're gonna lose customers. Period, end of story. In this day and age, right now, when people have all these options, now, and companies that they never even heard of, now they do, because of COVID, we now have more people that are on social media. People are creating companies. More companies have now gone virtual. So it's more virtual companies than brick and mortars. So now if I can go to, instead of going to your business, which is right next door, I can go and get on and do a virtual option because they got better customer service than you do in person. Where am I going? I'm going to the customer service. I'm going to where the people make me feel like they respect and honor me. So remember, you have to be empathetic. Your communication has to be, and this is, and I'm using this example right here because I taught this to a healthcare practice. How many of you have gone to a doctor's office and you were like, you felt like they just treated you like some number? You got to be like, hey, Stephanie, great to see you back. Listen, have a seat over there. It's wonderful. It's good to see you. We pray that your visit goes well. Or however, but I need that kind of energy. Tell your people to talk to your clients as if they are family. Automation. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, every business and every entrepreneur and every leader and everything right now, if you are not down with automation, implementing automation into your business, you are going to lose clients. If you don't have a website, you don't have a web page, or one of the above or both. If you don't have a web page, you don't have a way for people to pay you without saying, oh, well, listen, if all you got is Cash App, right? But you don't have a PayPal, you don't have a Stripe, you don't have something, you don't have a way for people to pay a bill and pay it quickly, because right now people want to hurry up and pay. You should have more than one way to do it. If you don't have your system automated, you will lose clients, because if we're both selling the same thing, but I have a fancy little web page, it's just I've at least have a page, and I got a button that says click here to pay, but you don't, I get the client. Plain and simple. It's not rocket science. It's just being effective, efficient, and you're thinking being customer centric, and you're leading, you're providing, you're making it easy for folks to do business with you. You're making it easy for your staff to work with these people, because you're giving them tools, so they ain't got to be on the phone processing orders. The system does it. All they can do, they can build. And then at that point, you guys, if you own a company, then they can get stock in your company. You can make them affiliates. Come on, that's a whole other talk show. We can talk about affiliates later, but you can make an affiliate. Spend more time doing what you love at your work. I'm going to tell you, make your job, make the work environment something people want to come to. They just love it. I love going to my office because it's always laughter. We are intentional about eating together. There are many offices, they shut the entire, and if you guys probably have already experienced, they shut a matter of fact, I love when I went to Barcelona. Went to Barcelona when they had siesta time. I was like, what's that? What's a siesta? Well, when I got there, I thought, I'm get something to eat. Well, I should have got something to eat as soon as I got there, because it was siesta time and everything shuts down. Boom. Nap time, rest. They believe in everybody getting a moment of rest. And I will tell you, I'm not mad at any of it, because if we take 5 minutes, I want to say Google and some other companies have little bubbles and places where you can go take naps and so forth. If you take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, even if you just close your eyes, as a matter of fact, right now, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath in through your nose and blow it out. Take a deep breath in. Blow it out fully. I promise you, if we did that, and we did that for 5 minutes intentionally, it would change your whole life. Because one, we spend more time talking and moving, and we're not taking deep breaths. And when we're not taking deep breaths, we're not giving the body the natural thing that it needs, and that is fresh air. We need to do those things, and we need to just make our lungs open up and do that. And if you don't have oxygen, the brain needs oxygen to just activate, right? It needs to activate. So I want you to understand why it's all worth it. Leaders, spend time on your fixing your mindset. Spend time on growing your personal development. Look, as a matter of fact, Bob Proctor says that change is inevitable, but that personal development is a choice. Change is inevitable, but that personal development is a choice. And I dare to say personal development is a choice. And many, Les Brown said you got to have self-awareness, self-esteem, self-development, he just went on. You cannot lead anybody else if you haven't first worked on yourself. First, lead yourself. And why is it worth it? When you change how you lead, you build leaders, you create change, you create legacy, you reduce your stress, and you grow your worth. Because all you have is your integrity, and your reputation precedes you. And so if you're seeking to go up, first you have to master the level that you're on. You can't go up until you master the level that you are on. So I think this might be Miss here. All right. That's my thank you there. So let me come out of here. I want to stop sharing this. All right. So we have no time left. We are over time. So I want to hear from you. I want you guys, each one of you, please take a moment if you could. I would like you to do one thing. One of those links I sent you it says evaluation. Can you all take a moment to complete that evaluation? Can you all send me, actually, I'm going to have Otis. Otis, can you have everybody complete the evaluation? And you all, if you could answer those questions, you can send it back to me, because I realize it's one you got to download. So you can just actually, in fact, we're not even going to do that. I just want you all to come off if you could all come off, unmute yourselves. And if you could come on screen and just bless me this one time, because I know that we went over, and I didn't want you all to. Oh yes, and the gap. Before we do that, remember that when you are working with different people, you have a generational thing. Do not discount anybody. Do not discount anybody, because I'm going to tell you, if there's a person that's been with the department and or the agency, and they're an older person and they're more seasoned, they have that institutional knowledge. When they're a young person, they're technically savvy. Their generation has a different energy. Every generation has a different energy, and they bring a unique perspective. And you can learn from each other. You cannot run a company without one or more of each one of those things. So respect and honor it, and do just that. Say, you know what, we need this institutional knowledge, this intellect, and tell them that. If you tell them that and actually tap into it, man, your company will blow up. Your group will grow past anybody else's group. I challenge each and every one of you to tap into those generations and tell your people, we're a team, we're super bad. Our superpower is our generations, and watch us exceed everybody else. So I would love it. And thank you, Jay Leroy. I would love if you guys could give me some feedback on what you thought about this 3-day training, and let me know how I can serve you and what you would like to hear about in the future. All right, who we got?